All right, so this is going to be the Forex forecast for next week. Um, I apologize for it being on the phone. I don't have a camera yet, so once I get a camera and everything, once we, get bigger, we grow and all these things, better quality will come, better content will come. It's just all a matter of time. But we gonna still hit it up. We still gonna get this work in, and we gonna just basically be breaking down what we think next week is gonna be like, what we think next week is gonna unfold for us, and yeah, let's get into it. So I primarily trade GJ. That's my pair. I primarily trade that. Sometimes I trade GI. Sometimes I trade GU. But I've noticed that a lot of times when I try to go to those other pairs, I don't do so well. I tend to lose sometimes. Sometimes, if I'm thinking right, the thing is with GI and all those other pairs, if I'm thinking right, I get it going. Like I can win my trade and stuff like that. But if I'm not thinking right, that's double damage because I'm already trading a pair that I'm not really focusing on like that. And if my mindset's not right, if I'm not in it, I'm definitely gonna lose. But so like I said, I trade GJ primarily, and this is the daily chart. I am a scalper. Like that's all I do. I don't swing trade. Um, I do a little bit of intraday trading maybe, but mostly scalping. Mostly what I do is scalping, but I still come to this daily chart. I still come to this daily chart sometimes. I still want to see what the daily chart is telling me because when you're a scalper, you gotta be able to scout, and then you gotta be able to know when to stop. You gotta be able to know when to be like, okay, I need to slow down and let the big boys come in and do their job. Because as a scalper, I'm just riding the wave. I don't trade with no bias. I don't trade. I don't. Let me say it like this. I don't trade with no bias until it's time to enter. That's the best way to say it because every trader has a bias. That at some point when you're trading, you have a bias. But when I'm looking to find trades, I'm not looking like, for instance, we have a head and shoulders here. I'm not looking at this head and shoulders, and I'm not saying, oh, head and shoulders. I'm gonna wait for the neckline to break, boom, take the sell. I'm not thinking that. What I'm thinking is, okay, head and shoulders. There's a possibility that it can break. Let me get this out. There's a possibility that price could break, yes, and then retest and then drop. But I don't think like that in the market. I think of that as a possibility. But what also could happen is see how we got this move right here? This move could come down here and go right back up. The head and shoulders is not complete until it breaks, retests, and drops. That's when the head and shoulders is fully complete, according to the textbooks. But I understand more than just textbook. I understand logic. I understand context. So I'm not going to be automatically thinking that price is going to just break through this zone, retest it, the neckline, and drop. No, I'm thinking, okay, we might get a double. We might get a double bottom. We you know what I'm saying? We could get something, and this is another thing. We could get this, a break and a retest, and then price drop. And this is how and let me show you how the big boys really tags people. Let me show you how they get people into trades and stuff. It'll drop, retest, break, and a lot of the novice traders aren't going to want to take it here because there's green candles coming up. A lot of the novice traders don't like to sell on green candles. They want to see red candles come out. So when you're supposed to get in, people don't get in. Well, they see that the market is starting to go down. They're seeing red candles come in, big red candles. And they're like, oh, okay, it's time to sell. It's time to sell. And what the market will do is it'll get all of these sellers in here because the big boys want people to sell. They want people to sell so they have something to buy. And what they're going to do is they can easily come right back up here, stop people out, make it seem like it's going to retest, come up, and now what are those traders who were in the sale thinking now? They're thinking, this must be a buy now. This must be a buy now. So let me buy. And now the big boys, they're going to trap you again. So now you're thinking, let me buy. And then what happens? It sells off. And now the novice trader, the person who's just now beginning, is frustrated because first they thought it was a sell. Then price showed the textbook break and retest, and then it dropped. That's why it's more than just textbook. That's why it's more than just looking at it for what it is. You have to use context, you have to use logic, and you have to know how the big boys play in the market. Who are the big boys? The banks, the institutions, the hedge funds. Those are the people who are the big boys. Those are the people who move the market. So that's how a lot of people get trapped in this market. You have to be thinking on that type of level when you're trading. You have to not only think of the textbook, but you have to also think of other possibilities that could happen. You get what I'm saying? So me looking at this daily chart and looking at this move right here, we can see that this move right here was a big move. And then we got a small retracement. What is that telling us about this move right here? If we're looking at just this move, we're not looking at anything from here on. We're looking at just this move. What is that? And let me do it like this. Is it this? All right, bro. Let me see. Bring to the front. All right. We see that price came all the way up, then came right back down, but the retracement was very small. So we understand that, okay, the buyers might still be in control. The buyers might still be in control of the overall move. And then we get this move. We get this move. And if we take our drawing tool and then we bring this out here like this, and then we draw this move and bring it out like this again. Well, doesn't that look at how this move was powerful, but then the next move was less powerful. So what is that telling us about the market? What is that telling us about the buyers? They're slowing down. Buyers are starting to slow down. So yes, it was still a big move. Yes, it was still lots of pips. Yes, I can scalp all up in there, but I have to understand what the market's doing from a bigger time frame so that I can understand what's going to happen at these major levels. So we know that, okay, the market is slowing down. Now, remember, we had this move that retraced, but it was very small. But then we get this move. Look at how the sellers came in so hard right here. But here they came in very slow. Look at how long it took the market to even get up here. It took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 days to get up there. And in 1, 2, 3, 4 days, it took the sellers to come right back down. So what does that say to us? What does that tell us? That lets us know that, the sellers might be taking control. The sellers came in with a lot of strength. The sellers brought price down all the way back to where it was in 4 days, when it took it something like 14 days over here. So that's letting us know that sellers might be coming back into the market. Forget about the head and shoulders. Forget about the pattern. Let's think logically. Let's think logically. I learned that from Urban Forex. Think logically about this. Forget the pattern. We got sellers coming in very hard here. And then we get a push up. But look at the push up. The buyers are dead. The buyers are dead. And then we get all of these exhaustion candles. Right where? Right at the level. Right at the left shoulder. Creating that other shoulder. Now, to the novice traders, the people who are just beginning, they're going to look at this and they're going to be like, well, this doesn't look like the textbooks. But the Head and Shoulders are not going to look like the textbooks. They're not going to look clean all the time. They're going to look kind of like crazy. But this is a Head and Shoulders. Do you know what I'm saying? So we understand that. And now we know that the sellers are starting to come in, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to sell, though. You see how I don't trade? You see how when you don't have a bias, you think about everything else. You don't just think about what the pattern says, what the pattern's telling me. You're thinking, why is the pattern here? Why is the sellers coming in so hard here? Why are the buyers starting to slow down? So we start out there, we see that, we understand that, and now we see price came down, but it never came back here yet. So we're going to have to wait and see what Sunday's going to do, because I usually don't trade Sundays. I let Sunday do its thing because Sundays is kind of wacky for me. And it's like the open of the market. So it's trying to, like, you know what I'm saying, stretch his legs and stretch his arms out and get warmed up on Sundays. So it's a hit or miss on Sundays. You might get moves or you might not. So I just don't even trade it because I'm thinking in probabilities. You know what I'm saying? That's the key. Thinking in probabilities. It's not thinking about, oh, well, it might move, so why not trade? It might move. You might get a move. No, I'm not going to do that because the probability of me winning that trade is not great. So I'm going to stay out of the market. I'm going to be patient. You know what I'm saying? You got to have patience when you're in the market. So I'm coming and I'm looking at this area now. And I'm seeing that, okay, we got back to this level, price shot up. So we came down hard, but then price came right back up with no stutter. So what is that? That's called a demand zone. That's called a demand zone. And we can see, now if I take out my fib, because I like to use the 786, I like to use the 786 and the 886 as my zones, as my supply and demand zone at times. Sometimes I'm able to mark it up just from what it is, but I like to use the golden zone, I mean the Fibonacci, because it helps it be more accurate. So we can see how price came down here and stopped right at this area, and now it's got this green candle right here. This, like, and I don't really know if that's not really a pin bar. It's more like a twister or something like that. It's more something like that, not really a pin bar, because the pin bar the tail would be a lot longer than the head wick. It would be a lot longer. So that's not necessarily a pin bar. And plus, I'm not automatically thinking, okay, we're going to buys from here, because look at this big candle right here. Look at this big candle right here. Do y'all see how in just the daily time frame, how I found out all this information on just the daily time frame, and I don't even trade the daily. So we understand that from the daily aspect. Now let's go down to the 4 hour. Now we see more information. Now we see more things. Now we see pin bar. Now we got a pin bar. Now we got that pin bar that we're looking for. So we could be seeing price retrace a little bit and then shoot back up. We definitely could see price shooting back up. But what I'm overall thinking right now is I'm thinking, okay, we have a Head and Shoulders. I'm going to wait and see how this plays out. I'm going to let Sunday do its thing, see how Sunday plays with the market, and let's see how it plays out. Let's see what the market's going to do on Sunday. So we got that demand zone. We understand that. And now we understand that we just had this big move, this big down move from the sellers on the 4 hour. We got that 1 4 hour candle that dropped super hard. And now we got consolidation. And we're back at a point where price took off before. So now I'm looking left. I'm seeing what the market's doing left. So now I'm going to, since I know that the buyers came in here, well, I want to see if the buyers are going to come in again. If the buyers don't come in again, then we have a good chance of breaking through this demand zone, retesting it. So let me show y'all what that looks like. Breaking through the demand zone, retesting it, and maybe breaking like that. And even if The banks, and this is why I love scalping, because even if the banks are tricking and faking a lot of people out, I can still catch these moves. I still can catch these moves in here. I can still catch these little pockets of price and money. But I also understand the higher time frame. So I also understand that it might not sell all the way, because the big boys might want to manipulate the new traders, the people who don't really know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm looking at this just from this, I'm gonna drop down to this 1 hour time frame. And let me just get rid of, let me get rid of this demand zone real quick, because I don't really want it right there for right now. We know that it's right there. And I'm gonna box up these levels, because that was the high of the day, that was the low of the day. And I want to see what price is going to do at these levels on Sunday. I want to see if price is going to break through these levels on Sunday. And if not, then we know that if price doesn't break on Sunday, then we know that Monday is going to have a lot of momentum. The Monday has a good chance of breaking out. And it might break out before London. I trade London. That's my primary session. I come to the market about 11 o'clock, 11:30, and I mark my charts up. I do what I need to do, and then I start really looking at the market at 12 o'clock. I start really wanting to place a trade around 12 o'clock. Now, I'm not saying when 12 hits, I'm in a trade, but I'm saying that's when I want to start looking to place trades. That's when I want to start getting serious and getting focused and getting in my zone after I got everything set up. So that's basically what we're looking at for this week. Like I said, it could either, like I said, it could either do something like this, double bottom, break up, or it could do something like this. You know what I'm saying? Break and retest. Or, like I said, it could also break and retest and shoot back up. You know what I'm saying? Faking out those sellers. And then maybe even faking out the buyers. So we just have to be thinking of these type of things. We have to be thinking of these type of things. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that maybe y'all learned something from this. If not, that's cool. It's not going to resonate for everybody. It's not going to hit for everybody. But like I said, this is how I trade. This is how I look at the market. This is how I forecast the market on Sundays. And stuff like that. And it's not even Sunday, it's Saturday right now. But I just wanted to, I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna get this video out to all the people and you know what I'm saying, let them see it, because I mean, it's gonna be the same thing on Sunday. It's not gonna change. I'm gonna be still doing the same thing. So I said, you know what, let me just get this knocked out on Saturday. So that's what we looking at for real. That's what we really looking at. We know that we got the head and shoulders. Let me clear all this up. We know that we got the head and shoulders on the daily. And yeah, so oh shit. That's what we looking at.